Part two of this is to make sure your letters are all the same size, using guidelines, and then finding a background that sets your letters off, and putting layer styles on there, meaning either a bevel or a drop shadow or outlines. What you want is a picture that does not fight the letters, and in some cases you can use a combo of two. This picture is, the background is a map as well as a landscape using different layer blending modes. Or you can also end up with a picture where you put, the writing up in an empty part of the picture so that it doesn't conflict with the picture. There's different solutions to it. It just kind of takes experimenting to find something good. What you want to avoid is trying to put the letters on top of something really busy, like a busy city scene. It would probably not work very well unless you had a lot of sky or water or something. Alright, so for my letters for Bari, I did play around with a few different ideas. I have this scene which has a lot of sand that I could put the letters in. I also have this map that I could do something interesting with. I could take it and I could adjust the layer blending mode, maybe set it on overlay. Don't really like that. I would try a few different things to see what I could get. That's kind of interesting there. Exclusion. I'll try this for now. I don't know that I would stick with it, but just to start out. So my letters now, I'm going to go ahead and position them. And I ended up, I had an extra. Let me throw that away. So first thing, I think I'll put my effects on there. So I'm going to go to the B, and I'm going to double click to do a layer style. I just double clicked right here in the blue part of the layer, in the layer panel, and that gives me this box. Now a drop shadow, I can click there, and notice it's put a drop shadow on the B. If I want to adjust the effect, I'm going to go to drop shadow, and I'm going to adjust that drop shadow. I can make it more fuzzy. I could make it wider, bolder. I can do bevel emboss, which looks kind of cool. And I can adjust all of these. I'm clicking the word as well as the checkbox. Once again, if you guys could please not talk, I'd appreciate it. And so I can adjust that so that the depth is bigger. Lots of things you can do. Do avoid putting such a heavy effect on the layer style that it makes it hard to see the picture. So something like that is a no, I would say. A light bevel where you can still see the picture, that's good. You can make the edges soft, or you can make them sharper. You can also do things with strokes. So I could go in and I can click the word stroke. I can adjust the thickness of the stroke, and I can adjust the color. Maybe sample a color that I'm already using. So lots of different things you can do. I think I liked the bevel emboss and maybe the drop shadow. Alright, now once you have the effects on one letter, you don't have to reset each one separately. You can copy the effects and you can drag them onto the other layers. So this is the really fast, quick way to work. I'm going to hold my Option key. I'm going to grab my drop shadow effect, and I'm going to drag it onto another layer. And now I'll go ahead and I'll just keep doing that until I have it on all 4 letters. So you can see I now have drop shadows all the way across. I'm going to do the same thing with bevel emboss. I'm holding the Control key, I'm dragging and dropping. That way I have the exact same setting on every letter. So now I could go and I can link my letters together and I can size them. So I'm going to go ahead and do that by shift clicking the top and the bottom. So let me do that one more time. I'll click the top, shift click to get all the letters. Now I'm going to click the chain to link them. So I can go ahead and I can adjust those letters down, and then I'm going to start to play with that background. And you know what I'm showing, I could go with that. I kind of like the map. I think it's a bit much though. I need to maybe tone it down. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sold on that. But you know, the thing to do is to try, ooh, that's kind of neat. Try a variety of things, and I'm using blending modes here to see what you get. That's actually kind of neat too, just that brown and golds of the map sort of faded out my picture. So I'm getting effects I'm not even expecting just by being experimental and trying out layer blending modes. That's with two images overlapping. And you know, you just got to try them and see what you can get out of it. You don't have to do this. You can just use one layer if you want. But I think you're going to get more interesting effects if you do try that out. Dissolve is kind of cool too. No. I think what I liked best out of this was luminosity. So over here on these, let me show you what I did. Let's look at this one. This one's kind of interesting. Okay, so this is one I did a few years ago, or maybe last year as a demo. And for the background, I'll turn off the type. It's two pictures, so it's this map and this landscape. Combined, I got that, which I liked. I thought it set off the image. So that's all experimenting. Now the layer blending modes that are used on this is pin light, which is right here, and this one is just normal. So all I did was I used the map with pin light to get that effect. On this one, let's see what this is. So this is a landscape that looked like that with a hue saturation adjustment layer, a color balance adjustment layer, and then a gradient fill set to darker color through here. So adjustment layers adding on. And then there's actually this one too. I think I didn't end up liking that. And then I can clear my guides, by the way, too. The guides are simply, the rulers. Actually, I don't want rulers. I want to go ahead and go to Show, and I want to unclick Guides, so you can see it without having to look at those guides. You can also move the guides off too. I could take the guidelines and I can drag them up here. So this has potential. I think it's still a little bit, distracting. So I would probably want to mess with it some. I could try darkening or lightening images. I can try an adjustment layer and maybe even a solid color or a gradient. And then I'm going to set that to color. And I could try a variety of gradients just to see what look I get. Some of those are going to be crazy, but whatever you do, what you want is your background to support your lettering and to not overwhelm it. And then remember, you can also adjust the gradients too. So you can go in and change color as you might need to, tone it down, make it brighter by using that gradient editor. You can also try like to put the landscape on top and see what I get.